O'Rourke.
Hey, how are you on a Monday morning, August 16th, 2021? Baseball Hall of Famers. What did they do in a certain decade? Who was the best hitter of each decade? Who was the best pitcher of each decade? I've been going over it. I'll give you a recap. When I started the series, each decade I covered all the Hall of Famers and what they did in the decade as far as hitting, hits, RBIs, and batting average. If you want the detail on all the players, look at each episode. But I'll just recap who won each decade I've covered. And then this episode will deal with the decade 1960 to 1969. So let's recap. Who won 1870 to 1879 in hits? Jim O'Rourke, 730 hits. Who won the pitching? Al Spalding, 252 wins. 1880 to 1889, who won the hitting? Camp Hansen, 1,518 hits. Who won the pitching? Tim Keefe, 291 wins in 10 years. Whew. 1890 to 1899, who won the hitting? Ed Delante, 1,863 hits. Who won the pitching? Kid Nichols, 296 wins. 1900, 1909, who won the hitting? Honus Wagner, 1,847 hits. Who won the pitching? Christy Mathewson, 236 wins. 1910, 1919, who won the hitting? Ty Cobb, 1,948 hits. Who won the pitching? Walter Johnson, 265 wins. 1920, 1929, who won the hitting? Roger Hornsby, 2,085 hits. Who won the pitching? Burleigh Grimes, 190 wins. 1930 to 1939, who won the hitting? Paul Waner, 1,959 hits. Who won the pitching? Lefty Grove, 199 wins. 1940 to 1949, who won the hitting? Lou Bourgereau, 1,578 hits. Who won the pitching? Al Newhouser, 170 wins. 1950 to 1959, who won the hitting? Stan Musial, 1,903 hits. Who won the pitching? Warren Spahn, 202 wins. Okay. 1960 to 1969. Who do you think won the hitting? It was a wonderful decade. Really good decade. A lot of Hall of Famers in that decade. Who won the hitting? I looked it up. Roberto Clemente, 1,877 hits, 862 RBI, 357 was his high average. How about that? I didn't know that would happen. Because you got some other guys in here. Who was second? Henry Aaron, 1,759 hits, but he played in the 50s. See, so you got to take away some of the hits he got in the 50s. Can't count them. So for the 60s, he got 1,759 hits. He led everybody in RBIs, 1,107, and his high was 328. Who's next? Brooks Robinson, how about that? He started 1960. See, some of the other guys started in the 50s, so their stats are lower. But Brooks Robinson, 1,692 hits, 836 RBI, 317 average. Who's next? Willie Mays. See, he started in the 50s, so some of his hits are taken away in the 50s. Got to count the hits only in the 60s. But he comes in fourth, 1,635 hits, 1,003 RBI, which is second to Aaron, 317 average. Who else had a good decade? Billy Williams, 1,651 hits, 853 RBI, 315. Frank Robinson, 1,603 hits, 1,011 RBI, 342 average. Carl Yastrzemski, 1,517 hits, 767 RBI, 326. Al Kaline, 1,529 hits, 843 RBI, 324. Ernie Banks, 1,460 hits, 925 RBI, 276. I just go down some of these lines here. Mickey Mantle played in the 50s, but in the 60s, he got 1,023 hits, 668 RBI, 321. Harmon Killebrew, 1,331 hits, 1,013 RBI, 281. Pete Rose enters the decade. He mainly got a lot of his hits in the 70s and 60s. But give him 1,327 hits for the decade, 433 RBI, 348. Stan Musial finishing out because he started in the 40s and 50s. So in the 60s, 427 hits, 273 RBI, 330 was his high. Reggie Jackson enters the decade, 310 hits, 198 RBI, 275. Eddie Matthews finishing up, 1,094 hits, 676 RBI, 306. Willie Stargell, 884 hits, 570 RBI, 315. Rod Carew enters, 428 hits, 149 RBI, 332. Lou Brock, 1,406 hits, 419 RBI, 315. Yogi Berra finishing up, 301 hits, 186 RBI, 293. Orlando Cepeda, 1,522 hits, 896 RBI, 317. Tony Perez, 678 hits, 403 RBI, 290 average. Ron Santo, 1,592 hits, 937 RBI, 313. Joe Morgan, 564 hits, 170 RBI, 285. Duke Snider, 291 hits, 184 RBI, 296. Bill Mazeroski, 1,385 hits, 600 RBI, 315 average. Luis Aparicio, 1,548 hits, 427 RBI, 324. Richie Ashburn, 357 hits, 87 RBI, 306 average. Ted Williams, last year, 1960, 98 hits, 72 RBI, 316. Willie McCovey, 1,189 hits, 821 RBI, 320. Johnny Bench, 325 hits, 180 RBI, 293. And Nellie Fox, 761 hits, 176 RBI, 268. Who dominated the 60s? Roberto Clemente, 1,877 hits. Who came in second? Henry Aaron, 1,759 hits. Who came in third? Brooks Robinson, how about that? 1,692 hits. And you got Billy Williams, 1,651. Willie Mays, 1,635. Frank Robinson, 1,603. All right, what do you think of that decade? Not bad. Who won the pitching? This should be surprising. I didn't know this. 1960s. Who won the most games? Juan Marichal won 191 games in the 60s. 2,546 innings. 1,634 strikeouts. How about that? Who came in second? Bob Gibson, 164 wins, 2,443 in innings, 2,443 innings, 2,071 strikeouts. So Gibson leads in strikeouts for the decade, more than Marichal. Who came in third? Two guys. Jim Bunning, 150 wins, 2,592 innings, 2,019 strikeouts. Just under Gibson. Who's fourth? Don Drysdale, 150 wins, 2,631 innings, 1,910 strikeouts. Then you got a guy named Sandy Koufax, 137 wins, 1,806 innings, 1,910 strikeouts. Sandy gave it up, though, after the 66 season, I believe. He still had 4 more years to go. Figure 80 more wins, and he's over 200. He would have won the decade. But he got a sore arm, man. So Marichal beats him. All right, I'll go over some other guys. Nolan Ryan just coming up, 12 wins, 226 innings, 231 strikeouts. Warren Spahn finishing up, 96 wins, 1,168 innings, 657 strikeouts. Tom Seaver enters the decade, 57 wins, 802 innings, 583 strikeouts. Steve Carlton, 47 wins. He's entering. Wait till you see what he does in the 70s. Whew. 738 innings, 586 strikeouts. Gaylord Perry, 95 wins, 1,683 innings, 1,234 strikeouts. Don Sutton enters the decade. Wait till you see what he does in the 70s. 51 wins, 957 innings, 757 strikeouts. Phil Niekro's another guy. Watch out for the 70s. 54 wins, 886 innings, 536 strikeouts. Early Wynn finishing up, 29 wins, 569 innings, 342 strikeouts. Ferguson Jenkins, 69 wins, 1,104 innings, 929 strikeouts. Jim Palmer, see what he does in the 70s. 39 wins, 530 innings, 368 strikeouts. Whitey Ford finishing up, 115 wins, 1,611 innings, 10,041 strikeouts. Catfish Hunter, 55 wins, 1,049 innings, 703 strikeouts. Robin Roberts, 52 wins, 1,302 innings, 662 strikeouts. So what do you think of this list? 1960s, the pitcher with the most wins again, Juan Marichal, 191 of them. Second was Bob Gibson, 164. Third was Jim Bunning and Don Drysdale, 150. And fourth was Sandy Koufax, 137. Now, some of these other guys I mentioned, Ryan, Carlton, Sutton, Niekro, Palmer, look out for the 70s. Let's see who wins among that class. Who beats everybody in the 1970s? We'll find out in the next episode. I want to thank you. Thanks for watching. And I'm out.